So here's an excellent little exercise to get your chord changing, moving fast and smoothly. And it's a simple wee song that you can put in your repertoire as well. So the chords we need are an E chord, a D chord, and an A chord. And I'll give you a couple of ways to play this at the minute. So what you're going to do is do 2 downs on an E chord like this. You're going to try and move to your D chord. Now what I recommend is you have to take these 2 fingers off, but the first finger stays put. It just has to slide over, and then you try and maneuver the other guys into place for the D. Do 1 strum in the D. So that's 2 in the A. Maneuver to the D for 1. And then go back to an A chord for 1 strum. And when you go from the D chord to the A chord, see if you can keep that 3rd finger locked to that 2nd string. Just move them back and then get the other guys in place. And then when you repeat again back to E, you just have to change to that chord. So try and get this little sequence going. Now if that's all you can do at the minute, or you can't even do that, don't worry about it, okay? Use that as a little exercise to get more flush and fluid and smooth with changing between your chords. And do take notice of those little tips about sliding the fingers that I mentioned in certain spots. Now, what I'll show you is a more advanced way to do this, where you can start putting in some fancier things on the strumming. And if you can apply this here to this song, it'll really help you with a lot of other songs. So you may notice there's something more involved in this part over this side. The same things are happening over here, but the strumming that we're doing is different. So let me break that down. On the E chord, I want you to go down, down, up. And then try and just land on a D with a down for me. Now what I'm going to do is repeat that little bit for a wee minute here and see if you can notice anything, okay? Then I'm going to explain. Okay, so what you may notice, don't worry if you didn't, is as I play that upstroke, I'm doing something called the open string trick. I'm actually lifting off the fingers that I need to lift off as I play that upstroke in time to try and land on the down on the next chord. So you're deliberately taking those fingers off as you play that upstroke, and it's called the open string trick because effectively you're playing open strings momentarily. And by the way, if you find keeping this finger stuck to the string during that time too hard, lift it off as well. We can make an exception to that here. So as you play that upstroke, your fingers have lifted off as you play it. So you're playing effectively nothing momentarily. And the reason we do that is it gives you time to get those fingers shifted from one shape to land on the next one, so that that next down that comes in is on time. Otherwise we might get this delay, and that's already too late. We've gone out of time there. You're effectively getting stranded on the last chord, and if you don't put this in your guitar playing, your chord changing will never ever sound good. Okay, you will always have that frustration in your playing, and you might not even know what it is, that your playing just doesn't sound like other people's. Okay, it's just not as good as you want. When I teach people in real life, I have to go over this every week. Okay, it's always something at different points in people's playing that comes up, mainly beginners. Okay, these same problems come up when I'm teaching people, and when it comes to chord changing, this is one of the biggest ones. It's not doing that open string little trick to help you get to another chord. So you must do this, otherwise your playing will never sound good. So just see if you can do this a few times with me. So try and do that a million times, get that programmed into this hand, this hand. If you can do it in this song, it will really do you a lot of good for loads of other things. And we're going to add another wee bit after you've done the down on the D chord. Immediately follow that with an upstroke and do the open string trick on that. Oh, you see I didn't do it there. Okay, I know you might be thinking, I just can't do that yet. You're too fast. Don't worry about that. I'm just trying to demonstrate what it'll sound like for you. Do this slow enough that you know it's definitely happening. And you've got to do that lift off, that open string trick, as you play the upstroke. That's very important. Not after, as you play it. And then after you've done the down, lift off on the D, do the exact same on an A. And just practice that. And don't worry about other strings ringing and it getting a bit messy. When you're trying to implement new things, you can only burden your mind with so many thoughts and instructions, because you're trying to synchronize two hands that are doing different things. So don't worry if it gets messy, and don't restart every time you make a mistake. Just keep going anyway. Don't get bothered and don't get frustrated by the mistakes that will inevitably happen. So that's that next bit, D, A. And then you would be back in place for the E chord at the start. So I'm going to roll this slowly for you here. Just have a listen. And once I speed this up, now that you're aware of this, you'll see that it's in there. It's hard to decipher if I hadn't pointed it out, but the only way I can play this fast is by doing that. There we go. That's a lot of fun to get through. So any song that you might do, it's probably going to have this involved at some point. Okay? Wherever you have upstrokes involved at the end of a bar, where you have to change from one chord to another, you got to do this, okay? You got to do that open string trick where you lift off the fingers on that upstroke as you play the upstroke, not after, as you play it. And a point on these upstrokes, they're not the same as downs in terms of feel and in terms of how many strings you hit. So I'll just take the E chord here. When you do a down strum on the E, you're playing all the strings, or you're attempting to. But when you do your up, I think of the phrase a feather touch. You're trying to be a bit more graceful and light with the pick when you're doing an up. You're not trying to do this. You're not actually really looking to play all the strings. What I would suggest is you're just looking to kind of graze the highest 3 to 4 strings. Don't worry if you don't hit those 2 lowest strings in the chord. So have a look now as I do down strums and up strums. Just have a look at the trajectory when I'm playing the ups. On the downs I'm playing all the strings, but on the up I'm just basically pushing through till that 4th string there. Okay, they're a little bit lighter, a little bit more graceful. Okay, thanks for your time. Hope you found value in that. Give the video a like and subscribe for more videos and share it with your friends.